As we head into the holiday, here's something to keep an eye on. The Trump White House is now promising that right after the 4th, right after tomorrow's holiday, so sometime this holiday weekend, they say they are going to launch nationwide dragnet-style raids targeting immigrant families in large numbers across the country. If that rings a bell, it's because the massive pre-dawn raids targeting immigrant families, something that was originally announced and promised by the president a couple of weeks ago. He then announced that he would delay them for a little while, but now the Trump White House is saying it's right after July 4th. And who knows if they mean it any more this time than they meant it the last time. But of course, these are real people's lives in the balance. The Daily Beast now reporting that over these past 2 weeks, advocates have been frantically coaching immigrant families around the country about how to brace themselves and prepare for the possibility of these raids by ICE. They describe it as being like natural disaster planning, except the disaster here is a pre-dawn roundup by armed federal agents, and your disaster plan is that you need to know who might be able to look after your kids when ICE takes you away. Last night on this program, we reported on a new creative Trump administration plan to inflict pain and suffering on immigrant families. They floated the prospect of deporting the family members of active duty serving U.S. troops. We got a big reaction to our mentioning that proposal from the White House on our show here last night. I do need to tell you that this is just one in a series. They seem to be rolling this out, seeing what kind of outrage they can stoke. The Trump administration has today floated another Little Shop of Horrors style plan designed to stoke maximum outrage and inflict maximum fear. Starting within the next couple of weeks, starting mid-July, the Trump administration now says they plan to do away with interpreters for immigrants at their court hearings. So when the judge is explaining their rights and when the next hearing is and what steps they need to take in the interim and, generally making sure the immigrants understand what's happening and do you have any questions, the Trump administration is now saying there will be no interpreters for those hearings. Now, instead of an interpreter, all of that life and death stuff will be explained in a video recorded in multiple languages that plays before the hearing that explains basic rights. And if the immigrant or the immigrant family has any questions or the judge just wants to make sure everybody understands, no interpreters, everybody's out of luck. Now, the backup plan for when this inevitably causes disaster in multiple courtrooms across the country is for the judge to rely on any interpreter who happens to be in the building for other purposes, or to call a telephone service for on-demand translation. Judges should just start calling 1-800-TRANSLATOR on demand and see if there's somebody there who might be able to help for their hearing. But otherwise, there won't be translators anymore for immigrant hearings. That's the new plan from the Trump administration and the family members of active duty service members and the punctuation to the 4th of July fireworks with nationwide roundups of families. None of this is happening by accident. This is what they want him to run for re-election on. We'll be right back.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.